So, nako, NDA ko nasan na charot. Ano bang pwede ko sabihin?
Ilabas ang mga papeles. Call the lawyers. It's time for another Sparkspective, and we just saw Season 3, Episode 2. And I will say, it's a very racy episode at ang dami-dami kong questions. So, dahil ganun nga ang point of view ko, minabuti na natin to have some insider information about not just the episode, but the entire show. And who better to give us all that insider info than the creative producer of Sparks Camp. Kaya naman today, tonight, or whatever time you're watching this, nandito sa ating Cisne Pop Studio na siya. Nandito sa Cisne Pop, live na live, si HYRO Aguinaldo!
Hi! My audience!
Nakakapanibago kasi yung first episode natin sa Sparkspective online with Pipoy, who you know. But kumusta ka, HYRO?
I'm good. Ayun, medyo busy pero laban naman. So, okay naman.
Laban lang kasi bumabagyo.
Yes, bumabagyo. Medyo maulan po sa labas.
Yes, pero nag-survive ka naman. Did you have to swim to get here?
Hindi naman. Buti na lang paglabas namin, paglabas ko kanina ng condo, wala naman ng ulan.
And I love that kasi talagang kailangan dry na dry tayo. Although, yung mga nangyayari sa show, especially episode 2, nakakawet.
Basang-basa lang sila dun.
Naman. At, well, okay lang bang sabihin ko yun, mamaya ma-demonetize kami. Nagsisimula pa lang kami. But no, I love the show. It's very racy. Was that a real decision that you guys made na medyo mas hot siya this season?
Well, yes. In a way, like, yung structure namin siya, parang we wanted na parang to maximize skin-to-skin action actually. Lalo na dun sa game, di ba? So, actually, mas physical and mas intimate yung approach for this season. Kasi you could see it still kahit nun sa episode 1 that like even the icebreaker game is physical and intimate. So, we really wanted to push for romance this season. Kasi it's kind of like coming back to what Sparks Camp is, which is, of course, a dating show. A dating show first, a reality show second. Alam mo yun, kailangan may magkain-laban dito.
Kailangan talaga may attraction, may sensation, may skin-to-skin contact.
Yes.
Well, masaya naman yun. Although we did not get skin-to-skin contact last episode. Dahil si Pipoy po are online. I hope you got to watch that episode. What can you say? Pipoy was also on a season you worked on?
Yes. Baby namin si Pipoy last season. So yun. So, sobrang miss ko na si Pipoy kasi yung tagal ko na siya hindi nakikita. Napanood ko yung some of the clips of the last episodes. So yun, parang, Pipoy, I miss you.
I know, he was such a cutie, super adorable. He was really, fun to be around. And also, he had so many nice things to say about you. Sabi niya, parang kuya ka nga daw niya. That was really, really sweet.
Yeah, I think yun yung naging relationship ko with season 2 actually. Sobrang, I would say sobrang close ko with season 2 kids. Kids talaga. Oo. Kasi parang this is a reality show and it's really, alam mo yun, mahirap siyang i-navigate. Actually, ito yung isa sa mga gusto kong sabihin din with regards to reality show stars, na yung mga taong nagpa-participate sa reality show and how like fans interact with them and actually criticize them. Guys, hindi siya madaling trabaho.
Hindi talaga.
And you're in a, kumbaga, microscope, diba? And your life is judged based on like 15 to 20 minute exposure in the cameras.
Right.
Sa totoo lang, portion lang yun ng buhay nila. So, I think kaya naging close ako with season 2 was because I was trying to help them navigate that.
Spoken like a true creative producer of this show.
Very mommy lang.
Yes. Well, let's start off by talking about that a little bit. Kasi babalikan naman natin yung talagang insider info about the show itself. Pero syempre, i-recap natin yung episode 2. But I do want to know, how did your involvement begin with Sparks Camp?
I wasn't part of season 1. Mm-hmm. I was just also a fan. Pero syempre, since it's, kumbaga, nasa isang company lang kami, which is ABS.
Yeah. So you work within ABS?
I work within ABS. So basically, colleagues ko naman yung gumawa ng season 1. It's just that I'm not part of it. So parang andun lang ako as, kumbaga, a viewer, ganyan. So nung season 1, comment ako, ganyan. Tapos minsan pagpapasok ako, yung namin, yung promo head namin during that time, sino promo head namin noon before? Si Carl. Parang, ayan si HYRO, ang daming kuda sa episode. Ganyan.
To be fair, ako rin naman, I'm not involved in any way, shape, or form, but ang dami ko rin mga kuda. Season 1 pa lang, up to now.
Diba? Tapos, after nun, na-enjoy ko lang yung season 1 kasi parang it's refreshing, diba?
Yeah.
Tapos, sobrang konti ng queer related shows sa Philippines. So parang ako doon support ako kasi parang go colleagues, galing nyo. Ganyan. Pero syempre makakarinig kayo sa akin. Ganyan.
But also, it's also like the only queer show that we have. Like, I feel like it's one of the only queer dating shows that we have in the Philippines. So it's all we have.
We know what happened with season 1. Ang dami ding tawag doon. Ang dami ding criticisms before it even aired.
Right.
So ang dami ding some are valid, of course. Some are like outrageous.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, nag-push through ang show. It flew, 'di ba? And kumbaga 3 seasons in, medyo na siya, parang household title na siya.
True.
So yun. So I came into the picture season 2 when they needed una supposedly karelyebo lang ako. Nung una nga ayoko pa eh. Parang bakit ako ganyan. Tapos parang ginujo ka na. Ang dami mo kuda, 'di ba? So halika dito.
So
Work
kung
ka
galing
dito.
kayo dun sa perspective na yun, ano yung naabutan mo? Like, what did you have to take over?
Ang trabaho ko supposedly was parang junior creative producer. Parang ganun siya.
Ooh, okay.
So, basically ako yung kanang kamay nung creative producer during that time, which is Patrick Valencia. Sila yung talagang original creators, si Patrick Valencia, Daniel Sanyana, then of course Kukay Labayan, who are from Black Sheep. Then I also co-wrote it with Daniel Sanyana, who was the original writer. Daniel then had to move out of the project because he had to do something which is like a movie project. Dahil mababawasan sila, kailangan kong sumalo.
Yeah, so now you're working on it now.
So season 3, kinonsolidate kasi lahat ng processes. So ABS-CBN Studios now took helm dun sa title, which is the Sparkspective season 3. So pinahiram kami just so magkaroon tayo ng continuity.
Pinahiram?
Yeah, pinahiram kami para lang magkaroon ng continuity so that when they carry over sa mga susunod na seasons, naka-establish na siya.
And now we're here, third season strong.
Yeah, oo. So mag-isa na lang ako. So now I'm creative producer for season 3. Dati dami kong kuda. O ngayon kinakain ko lahat ng mga sinasabi ko kasi ako na yung
Yung mga ng universe, pang aasar ng universe sa atin minsan. Speaking of universe, balita ko, he's just around the area. So baka in one of the next episodes...
Tinatext kita, hindi ko nag-reply, baka tulog ka pa.
Baka in one of the next episodes, universe,
Yeah,
review ka naman with us. But obviously also, si Hyro has a lot of insider information. So I'm so excited. Are you ready to get into reviewing, recapping episode 2?
Yes.
Okay then, first things first, let's start things off with a blast. Medyo naloka ako kasi parang mga abs yung una kong nakita in the first few seconds of the episode.
Feeling lang namin, at least sa production side, sa amin nila direct, that romance, if we focus on romance, di ba? Part ng romance ang desire.
Yeah.
We made it also like a point. As much as maraming mga borta doon, ganyan, maraming borta. Pero hindi lahat. Sinasabi namin sa campers before na parang if you want to take out your clothes when you play, go.
And they did. A lot of them did.
We celebrate our bodies. Parang
Yes.
Yeah, regardless kung anong shapes niya, sizes niya, di ba?
And aside from that, also another thing that really got the ball rolling in the episode was the face-to-face sparks giving. They did not see that coming? Ano nangyari?
It was the first time that we did that sa history ng ng Sparks Camp.
Nauga
Kasi
din ako.
yeah, if we recall, season 1 wala talaga at all. Anonymous all throughout 'yon.
Yeah.
Season 2, merong mga konting tweaks, parang ganyan, where you get to know kung kanino binigay. Pero hindi lahat. Ito talaga upfront. Mela said na parang kailangan i-practice nung mga campers yung courage nila to be yun na, di ba? Yung to be courageous and to speak up and to admit ano yung heart's desires nila. Kasi I think part yun ng romance in general na parang how do you cross one threshold if you don't take the plunge.
Meron ka talaga dapat yun nga, courage to say things, to express your feelings. Kasi it is a dating show, katulad nga ng sabi mo. It was very interesting kasi there were some choices na parang nagulat ako.
Like, kanino ka nagulat?
A lot of them. But let's go one by one para talagang sure tayo, para mo-cover natin lahat ng bases. So Edward gave his spark to Aaron. I think that was a little expected from me from the production perspective. Ano yung kwento nun?
I think ako nga, so totoo lang, medyo na-surprise din ako doon sa Edward Aaron. I think nag-base talaga si Edward with, karamihan naman sa kanila nag-base kasi first day pa lang to eh.
Getting to know each other, face lang.
Basic carnal desires. Kumbaga,
Right.
alam mo yun, yung kung sino ang
Very dating app. Swipe
dating
left,
apps. Yeah,
swipe
swipe
right.
left, swipe right. Parang ganun siya. Iniisip ko talaga nun, bagay ba sila?
Yeah, I really didn't see that coming. Also because I'm not sure if it's just the edit or talagang when you guys shot it, I didn't see a lot of interaction between the two of them.
Ako din, personally, hindi. Kaya din naman ganun din yung edit no, na parang ano. So, ibig sabihin nga, may mga decisions din naman yung mga campers natin that doesn't necessarily happen within camp. But of course,
Na-surprise din
di ba
kayo.
nag-iisip din sila?
I love it. Well, eto, na-surprise din ba kayo because Kim gave his part to Julio? Because that was also surprising to me.
Ako hindi.
Really?
Yeah. Prior to to shooting the series, we got to know them a little na
Yeah.
because of the interviews, of course. And I just know that Kim is attracted to people who are mature and very insightful. He's that kind of person. Tapos sabi ko, gets ko kung bakit si Julio ang pinili niya.
But the next one na nagbigayan is Julian. Binigay niya kay Ant.
Ay, eto, ramdam ko na rin kasi talaga simula pa lang na parang, sa kanya yung bibigay ito.
I know, na-feel ko din naman. But I mean, Ants is also a really, really tall, moreno, guwapo guy.
Alam ko na ito yung magiging trip ni, kumbaga si Julian, crush niya talaga yung mga tipo ni Ants. Just give a background. Parang, nung part ng casting process namin was to actually matchmake. So, very deliberate kami this time around. Gusto namin ng possibility na, okay, may possibility ba tong magkagustuhan based on
Did they interact ba before?
No. First time nila lahat to. So kami, it is all basing on how we interview them, ano yung data na meron kami, tsaka yung preferences
So,
nila.
na-matchmake nyo talaga.
So basically, yung possibility, sinubukan talaga namin na parang, okay, ito mga posible to.
Well, cute naman sila together. Although, may challenge kasi another person gave Ants a spark and it was Joer.
Yeah, Joer. Na ako naman, hindi rin naman ako nagulat. Kasi, to be fair, magkatabi sila dun sa Magkatabi sila dun sa episode. They look good together.
They do.
Yeah, so hindi rin naman ako na-surprise.
Mukha silang, alam mo yung mga anime? Boy to boy. Mukha silang gano'n.
Anime na BL.
Mukha
silang
anime na
gano'n.
BL. The next one is si Ants na. And this one is very interesting. Ants gave it to Aaron.
Nalokang-loka din kami. Kasi parang, of course, we already knew beforehand that Aaron and Ants knew each other. So alam na namin 'yon. So parang kaya may feeling ng kami na parang may possibility na baka magka something. Pero hindi naman in-expect na parang ipupush siya talaga. Parang
On the first, Sparks giving.
Magkaibigan sila eh. So yun. Pero they look good together.
They do. And then the next pairing was very expected. At this point, alam na natin, Harold gave his spark to Aaron.
Oo, kasi consistent naman siya all throughout ng episode 1 din, di ba? Yes. Medyo surprised ako na yung dynamics ng Harold and Aaron because I never saw it coming. Yeah. To be honest, kahit nung nagma-matchmake kami, hindi namin nakita yun.
Yeah, well, mutual sila eh, di ba? Aaron did end up giving his parts to Harold at si Harold kilig na kilig talaga. Good for him.
Good for him.
Mga ingiterang baka.
Oo, di ba? Parang, sige na.
Yeah, bigay na natin. So let's move on to another kilig pairing for me. Andrew gave his part to Callie.
Yes. Parang actually kung panood mo naman yung episode 1, medyo expected.
Super. Kasi, as in sa kanila ako kinikilig talaga.
Kasi grabe yung interaction nila dun sa first episode and kumbaga nakita natin yung connection talaga nila.
May sharing of vulnerabilities agad.
Tsaka yung very similar lang talaga sila. Of course, syempre nung nagma-matchmake kami, nakita rin naman namin, ito parehas sila ng industry, baka naman pwede.
Oo. Kaya naloka ako when it was Callie's turn to give out his spark, he mentioned a different name.
Yeah.
Ano nangyari doon?
Luka-luka din kami dyan. Luka-luka din kami dyan. Although, na totoo lang, nung pinapanood ko siya sa monitor during that time, kasi magkatabi kami ni Direct Ted doon sa monitor. So, when it's happening, nakikita ko na sa mukha niya magkakamali siya eh. Sabi ko, okay, sige, magkakamali siya, pero sige, good TV to, hayaan lang natin mangyari. Parang ganyan. O yun, hinayaan namin nangyari.
At yun na nga, nakakaloka talaga. Especially nung na-tease pa siya in the beginning of the episode. Parang, bakit nag-walk out si bakla?
Ayun pala chinek yung footage, di ba?
Yes, kailangan nila i-make sure. Forgivable mistake, also very good TV. So, congratulations, Callie. May moment ka na. Viral ka. I love
Salamat
that for
sa pagkabungol mo doon, Callie.
Sometimes it pays to be a little...
Okay,
that was a fun Sparks giving session. We got 2 mutuals, which is, promising. Promising na din. Pero also, sa panonood ko ng first 2 seasons, I know that yung mga moments na yun, yung mga first kilig na yun, it's very fleeting. I mean, not to spoil anything. Pero where do you think it's gonna go?
Ako, dahil first, ano pa lang, to be honest, medyo masaya kami na, so, we have Harold and, tama? Harold
Harold
and
and
Aaron, Kim and Julio, tapos, tatlo pala, and Kali and Andrew,
Yeah,
diba? So, we have 3 pairs. First time yun nangyari in the history. To be honest, hindi ako mag-spoil, pero we had to do some changes in the following days
Oh,
to
really?
accommodate that. Kasi yun, ganun ang kumaga dynamics ng reality show.
Well, yeah. It's
You have
very
to
fluid.
yeah, and you have to respond to events, parang ganyan. Kasi yun, reality show siya eh. So, basically, kailangan every time that they are subjected to different stimuli, may result yun.
Yeah, that's the really fun side of, I guess, not just reality TV, but productions that are heavily reliant on the reactions of the subjects.
Yeah, reactions of the subjects.
Oo.
Diba? Yung, kailangan talaga maging nimble ka and be quick to adapt.
Yeah.
Depende sa kung anong nangyayari.
Interestingly enough, you mentioned that kasi the next day, Mother Mela made a visit. Nakikain siya.
Yes.
Diba? Very queer thing to do, makikain sa
makikain
barkada.
sa barkada.
Bumisita talaga siya sa kanila. And dito, hindi naman sana rattle sila, but I don't think they expected na ang dala ni Mother Mela isa na namang parang thought-provoking chika.
Actually, nakakatuwa kasi parang this season, iniba talaga din namin yung dynamic with Mela. Kasi before, you wouldn't see Mela inside camp.
Yes.
You will only see her sa moment of truth area. Doon mo lang siya makikita, tsaka sa game area.
Yes.
Pero never mo siya makikita sa camp. So we want Mela to be part of that. So kaya minabuti, kasi usually ang mangyayari yan through Mela mail lang mangyayari, di ba? Na yung kung anong mga clues niya for the next events. Dito, pinapunta namin siya and interact. Kasi yun, we want her to be part of it.
I love that Mother Mela is immersed with them at these moments. And nung time rin na yun, I believe, na-rattle yata. So, hindi man na-rattle, but some of the ones that didn't get sparks were thinking about, we have to get to know more of them.
Yes. So, kaya umpisa pa lang, nagsimula pa lang din nila, nagpe-prepare pa lang sila ng breakfast, exercise pa lang sila, pero, landi na sila.
Napansin ko nga parang they were very aggressive sa chikahan. May hawakan pa ng pandesal.
Hawakan pa sila ng pandesal, ganyan, check ng mga,
Yes!
pecs,
Parang
ganyan.
matigas ba?
Patigas ba, ganyan. So, yun, nakita lang natin din how playful and how, kumbaga, mas comfortable na talaga yung campers with each other.
We can really safely say that Spark Sam Season 3 is ready for mature roles.
Totoo, di ba? Parang, okay, push natin
diba?
yan.
Push natin yan. At mature na mature din naman talaga kasi yung challenge. Because the challenge that they did was wrestling. Very good idea ha. Kasi I would say, it's one of the most homoerotic sports. Sa totoo lang.
Thank you po. Kasi ni-recognize mo na parang okay. Kasi sa totoo lang, since season 1, laging may wrestling adjacent game kami lagi.
Right.
Parang ganyan. Kasi yun yung pinaka-close contact na sport.
Skin to skin nga.
Skin to skin siya eh. Parang ganyan. So, but this time, we made it more intimate so that they are forced to be like, di ba, embrace na talaga. Hug na talaga. So, di ba, wala kayong choice. Kailangan nyo maging intimate at mag-hug, ganyan. Pero violent.
Very violent siya. May mga violent na parang, oh my God, but also may mga violent na
parang,
hot way.
parang,
Kasi I love the dynamic that you get to pick your opponent. And some pick yung who they felt were easier to beat.
Yes.
Some pick yung gusto ng landiin.
Yes. Totoo. And I think, isa rin yan sa mga conscious decisions that we made for season 3 is to have one-on-one games. Kasi dati, di ba, nagkakaroon ng parts na circumstantial kasi kayo na pag-pair o kailangan kayo mag-date, di ba? Pero dito, very deliberate na parang kung manalo ka, edi ikaw ang mamimili ng date mo.
Yes, and another dimension of that is naramdaman ko yung mga campers na meron na talagang napipisil.
Yes.
And they were very aggressive because they really wanted to win.
Yeah, they really
because they wanted
wanted
that date. I love that.
Yeah, tsaka yun talaga yung, kung maalala mo din, sinabi din na Mela dun sa na important na parang ganun, if you really want someone, you have to fight for it. Kailangan talagang ilaban ng mga ka-ampers yung mga gusto nilang,
Literally.
Literally.
Very literally this
oo.
time.
As in, kailangan mo ilublob sa putikan ng chocolate.
Oo. Chocolate pa talaga yun?
Oo, chocolate
masarap siya.
Masarap siya. As in talaga, nung pag namin, nung pinaprepare, tapos alayo pa lang, amoy mo na siya.
Oh my gosh.
Bango-bango.
Sabi ko naman, oh my God, it's so gross.
Hindi,
Chocolate pala siya.
chocolate siya.
Alam mo, nung nag-start yung match, I was in my mind, it was like, si Julio Julio's a wrestler. So that was like a given. So I was kind of shocked that he kind of gave up when he lost.
Yeah. And actually, ito yung interesting part dyan. Na-decide na namin tong game before we even cast Julio. So, it just so happened nung naka si Julio. Tapos, syempre aware kami dun sa ano ni Julio, sa condition ni Julio. Kakayanin ba niya or hindi. So, nakiramdam talaga kami. And of course, tinanong din namin si Julio, would you participate? Kasi kung hindi mo kakayanin, na parang sabi niya, no, go. I could do it. Nangyari lang na parang, oo nga pala, wrestler siya. So, actually, ito, behind the scenes chika to.
Yes.
Dahil,
please.
prior to rolling dun sa mismong game, he gave tips dun sa
Oh.
lahat.
Well, coach kasi siya.
So,
Oh,
para
yeah,
lang
yeah,
maging safe lalo yung game.
Because I did notice, sabi ko, parang they seem like they all know what they're doing.
What they're doing, yeah.
Yeah, so
yun.
na-training.
Yeah.
Also, it led to a very heartwarming moment din for Julio to share his vulnerabilities about his experience nga as an athlete with an injury.
Yeah. Sinabi naman yata ni Julio yun sa episode that parang he really felt that Edward really wanted the win.
Yeah, and that's why he gave up. Binigay niya talaga.
Binigay niya talaga.
Oo.
Kasi gusto talaga ni Edward.
What a sweet guy.
Nakita din natin yung different side. Disclosure lang din. Julio has been a friend. Pero I didn't take part with his casting.
Oh, okay.
Nag-skip talaga kami nung interview niya kasi
impartiality.
Impartiality. So hindi namin siya kilala. So it's up to the other panels if they will kung papasok siya o hindi. Na charm. Na charm niya. Napaproud lang ako kasi Julio is like showing a different kind of a facet to a very masculine, very brusco guy. Like, dun ako talaga na-surprise and at the same time, sobrang, oh my God, tama yung decision na kinast ka namin.
Also commendable because that was my favorite part of the episode, yung laban nila ni Edward. It was like a UFC.
Yeah, like it's beautiful to watch.
Sobra.
And ito guys, watch the I Want Cut. The I Want app because it's a little long. Yung wrestling match doon uncut. So, buong buo yung makikita nyo. So, kung gaano katagal yung laban ni Julio tsaka ni Edward, oo, mas matagal. Like, makikita mo talaga ng ilang beses lang inulit-ulit yun. Tapos parang kami, nagkakasakit na sila.
That's good to know, viewers, ha? So, meron pong director's cut sa I Want, aside from the one that streams sa YouTube.
Yes.
Yung intensity ni Edward and si Julio, on the other end of that, is yung landian lang. To be lang, it did feel like Kim and Ant, naglalandian lang sila doon.
Oo. Actually, yung parang kami din nung napilian sila, parang, hay, may chemistry itong dalawang to, no? Parang, ay, they look good together, no?
Para siyang meet cute sa isang pelikula. Yung ginagawa nila, parang mag-wrestling tayo, but like, let's be gentle.
Alam niyo yung mga paraan niyo eh.
I love it. And that's why I really enjoyed it. In fairness, deserved naman na si Kali ang nanalo. He really put his heart and soul. Pinaglaban niya talaga. Kaya naman magkakaroon sila ng bonggang-bonggang date ni Andrew.
Yes. Tapos, I think isa rin yun sa mga devices. Dito, genius na to ni Direct Ted. Kasi the usual format ng season 1 and 2 is, of course, doon mo sasabihin, after mo manalo, sino iti-take mo sa date? Ganyan-ganyan. I will take ganyan. Tinanggal namin yun this time.
Yes.
Kasi ngayon, you have to ask the person out dun sa mismong camp on your own.
Which is full circle to yun nga. Magkaroon ka ng courage. Ask them out.
Tsaka yun, parang it's talagang following through with our trust for this season to be deliberately romantic. Di ba sa totoong buhay naman, hindi mo naman i-announce in a group of people, I'm taking out eme, ganyan-ganyan to on a date, tapos palakpakan lahat. Hindi naman ganun. Di ba, the usual thing when it happens is you ask a person out in the personal way, the most personal
Mas
way
cute
possible.
siya kasi talaga. Like, I remember, umupo lang si Kali in between the other
Small talk.
campers. Tapos, chinika-chika niyo muna si Andrew. And then, I don't usually do this. It was very cute.
Very cute.
Very cute. But also, I'm a little biased because like I love the couple talaga. Bagay na bagay sila for me. What about you? Do you like them?
Yeah. Actually, sila yung sa kanila ako unang kinilig. Siguro, well, because this is I think I see a lot of myself in them. Kasi awkward din ako. Nakikita ko yung awkwardness ko with Kali, but at the same time yung pagiging lively din, and at the same time wanting to share my life and my thoughts na kay Andrew na sobrang daldal din naman. Alam mo yun, yung may feeling ka lang na kahit na may ganong energy, alam mo may calm lang na energy between them.
Parang you can like be open with him. It's very cute.
Yes, totoo. And ganun talaga yung dalawang yan in real life. like sila yung klase ng mga tao na hindi ka ma-awkward when you, kung maglandian silang dalawa dyan sa harap, hindi ka na parang,
Makes me excited to meet them. Meet them! Mag-guest kayo dito!
Kali, Andrew, halina kayo dito.
Oh, yung
next
creative
time.
producer nyo yung nag-aano.
Yan, punta kayo
Huwag
dito.
kayong ano. And what's also really cute is, I think the moment the episode ended for me was not the credits. The moment the episode ended for me was nung holding hands sila under the table. I was like, oh my God!
Tsaka alam mo, nakakatuwa at saka sobrang refreshing. Kaya isa yung episode 2 sa mga favorite episodes ko of all time. Only because it ended not so typically of Sparks Camp. Kasi Sparks Camp usually ends in a high emotional cliffhanger.
Yeah, tension.
Tension lagi nag-end. Ito, calm.
Was very hopeful.
Very hopeful na parang i-expect mo, okay, anong susunod dito?
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts on the episode 2.
Yes.
Right now, let's transition into a more intimate chika because we're gonna get into the inside info of Sparks Camp.
Yes. So, nako, NDA ko nasan na charot.
Ilabas
Ano
na
pwede ko sabihin?
ilabas na mga papeles. Call the lawyers. So, heto na nga. Nandito na tayo sa insider info portion of this episode. So, kanina, we talked about you being a creative producer on the show, but I'm really curious. I was gonna ask you about the casting process, but I wanna keep that a mystery. Para yung mga nanonood na parang gustong sumali, walang idea, di ba? Para fresh na fresh. So, let's start na lang from the beginning of like producing it for production. What happens? Siguro right before you start filming.
Usually, sobrang maliit lang yung timetable namin at this point. Kasi season 2, I remember, we were starting to work on it ng December 2023.
Okay.
Tapos, we shot it April. So, meron kaming like months of lead time talaga before the shoot. Dito, we only had a month.
1 month lang?
Yeah. Kasi,
wow.
during the time, hinihintay namin yung green light for which platform ba kami talaga. I was still doing a different project nung tumawag sila. So, I was working on the last Kim Pao film. I was associate producer for My Love Will Make You Disappear. Nasa editing ako nun. Nung tumawag sila na parang I have to ease out na dun sa project na ginagawa ko because I have to take over Sparks Camp 3. Ang sinabi sa akin, ikaw na yung creative lead for Sparks Camp 3. So, parang ako, so may team po ba ako? Wala. So, yun. So,
also, binigay sa'yo yung news working on a different project,
Hindi ko pa ako nakakahinga.
Oo,
Hindi pa ako
diba? Ganyan po kasi talaga kami sa production.
So, ang nag-meet din kami nun, ako, of course, the original creators, which is sila Patrick, Daniel Sanyana. So, nag-sit down lang kami para mag-postmortem in a way. So, lahat kami talaga in unison na we want this to be like, be reminded that our show is a dating show and we are about romance. Kasi parang we already did the bigger thing with season 2. In fairness naman, season 2 was a lot, kumbaga, in many ways, bigger than season 1. Of course, part din yung casting nun, di ba? But with season 3, we want to go back to the essence of the show. I'm not saying na hindi essence yung show ng season 2 It's just so happened that I think as much as we trusted na part siya ng DNA ng show, may malaking part lang na hindi kami as naging deliberate with season 2.
Right.
Naging iba rin yung flavor ng season 2 sa season 1, which is a good thing.
Yeah, kitang-kita rin. I mean, honestly, even sa location, which I was really interested in. Kasi I think the first season was parang lake.
Lakeside, yeah.
And then beach yung second
yung
season.
second season.
This one parang forest.
Mountain.
Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you end up with that location?
Ito yung nakakatawa. Sa totoo lang, kaya mountain yung gusto namin nun. Kasi parang, grabe trauma namin sa season 2 kasi nung shoot namin siya, yun yung kasagsagan ng heatwave ng 2024.
Oh, wow!
So, sobrang init talaga sa set. So, parang sinabi namin na parang, sana naman yung next season, yung may lilim naman na, parang ganyan. So, sa totoo lang, we really wanted na mas, tawag doon, as in, mas
presko.
Oo, pero ang pangarapan namin talaga mas uphill, mas mountain pa talaga.
Mount Pulag, ganyan.
Yeah, the Baguios and the Sagadas of the world, parang ganyan. The camp that we shot in was a last minute find.
Oh, really?
Like a week before shoot.
Can we disclose ba kung saan?
Yeah, it's in Montana Conservation Camp in sa Nueva Ecija.
Oh, that's why may lahar.
Yeah,
May nakita ko lahar.
yung
Kasi
Um,
nag-ATV,
oo.
pa-ATV yung mga boys this
Yeah.
season.
So it's in Nueva Ecija.
Yeah. So pag nakapili na kayo, and then we're gonna start filming, what happens then?
Filming commences like a week.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a week. So yon, it's like a hectic 1 week of filming. I think may one day kaming allotted for ano lang, parang basically just to run through everything. Basically, ano siya talaga, speed dating show. Ever since season 1, yun yung format niya talaga. Like, speed dating talaga siya. Paulit-ulit din naman sinasabi ni Mela during the show na it's not, Sparks Camp doesn't promise a forever. Ang pinapromise niya yung spark, yung start. Kasi after the show, dun mo talaga ipupush kung may
Tama.
mangyayari ba o hindi.
Dating shows is talaga, I think if that's why I think it sticks out then as a queer dating show is talagang from the get-go, they're not man aggressive, but they're there to find
Yun yung purpose niya. Lumandi ka talaga.
maglande, di ba?
It's a way of normalizing the fact na parang, uy, pwede tayong magmahala and pwede tayong maging bida sa ganitong klaseng show kasi we've had dating shows for heterosexual people.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And it's crazy kasi it's 2025 and it's still kind of an effort that we have to exert.
Yeah, just to say and normalize na parang pwede kaming lumande, pwede kaming magmahal. Yun. So, I think yun yung isa sa mga magandang efforts naman of the show.
It has to have at least one truth that should be there all the time.
One true thing that should be there all the time. I think si Mela. Yun yung isa sa mga, I think, pinaka-brilliant decisions and parang sinasabi nga namin na parang hindi namin yung gagawin yung show kung wala si Mela. She's the heart of the show, the brains of the show. Kumbaga, kasi kahit na gaanong kakalatan ng lahat ng gawin ng mga campers, she will ground them, give them advice. Yeah. And kumbaga, igina-ground sila in such a way that there's more than just this body heat.
Oo naman.
Diba? Na yung mga pag-ibig natin, may iba't ibang facets yan at may iba't ibang dimensions. And yan ay representative din of how we move as a community. Diba? Laging in limbo yung every season na si Mela pa rin ba? Kasi nasa Spain si Mela. Diba? So, although, congrats sa Miss Mela kasi tapos na ang kanyang masters.
Come on the show.
Yeah. Oo, punta ka dito. Siyempre, people could like have ideas and comments on this thought. Pero, importante din sa amin bilang queer and bilang, part ng community na si Mela ang mag-direct ng conversation kasi trans siya. Gusto namin na ibigay sa kanya yung manibela ng show. Kasi syempre, sa mga criticism niyan, bakit hindi nagpa-participate yung trans sa show? At tingnan na lang natin sa mga susunod na seasons. Pero yon, tingnan natin.
I'm right here.
Yeah,
Charis!
Pero importante kasi namin at this point na ma-establish muna yung format for at least for the first couple of seasons before we go wild. Yeah. Nagiging present yung point of view niya sa kung paano natin pinatatakbo yung narrative ng show.
I love that you mentioned that because I believe last season, nag-tweet ako, which was retweeted by your director, Theodore Boborol. Sabi ko, what if Sparks Camp, tapos girl boy, bakla, tomboy na puro pansexual?
Actually, ang dami na namin permutations. Isang pangarap nga namin, may all bisexual season, tapos so may girls and boys na nandun, di ba? Yun yung wish namin na marating talaga. Kaya ang naging deliberate din yung season 3 namin to expanding to newer audiences para marinig nila na, uy, may Sparks Camp, pwede kayong sumali. Guys, malaking
It's a big deal. Sa ABS-CBN Entertainment.
Nasa ABS-CBN Entertainment YouTube channel na siya. Mainstream yun ha.
Oh, well, obviously, so much work goes into the show talaga, which I think yun rin yung pinanggagalingan ko when I was very critical of the show. We're gonna get into that now. But, I was also very critical of the show in its first season. I was also very taken aback, I guess, by the lack of diversity, which I feel like yun din yung pinanggalingan mo when you were critical of it in the first season.
Actually, more than it, I think ang mas kwan ko nun ay yung skewing lang ng promos nun. Kasi dapat hindi nga sila nagpangako. Just to clarify. And may feeling din ako na yung nangyaring yun is somehow a blessing in disguise din. Because it kind of put the show in people's minds. Right. Like, okay, tingnan natin kung anong lalabas ito. Di ba? Medyo may siya. So,
what you're saying is, kasi parang, di ba, parang yung first season, parang hindi ko alam kung in-assume lang natin as viewers, pero parang siyang may i-deliver na diversity na parang in-assume siguro ng mga tao na yung cast magiging mas diverse than what we actually
Na parang
got.
sa totoo lang, kung ano, kahit na, kung i-leave out yung word na yon, I will still believe naman na diverse naman ang season 1 in its own way. Not maybe in body shapes and sizes, but in terms of experiences, ganyan. Kasi, like for example, kaya nga ngayon iba-iba siya eh. Kung ganon yung season 1, so baka hindi pa siya diverse enough during that time. And to be honest, hindi to excuse ha, but they only had like 50 people to cast during the time. It's a small pool. And not everyone would like be willing to be in front of the camera and say that I'm gay.
Yeah.
Kaya no season 2, kita mo yung diversity kasi lumaki
They
yung
tried.
show. Yeah.
They really did try.
Oo,
I can
lumaki yung
definitely
show.
tell. So what do you say to people, especially now, coming from your perspective mo, that you also had your hanash about the show,
Yeah.
and then now you're part of the show. Kasi I feel like a lot of the criticisms now, number one, meron pang ibang criticism, but like the first one is, yung parang, there was a step back in terms of diversity. I think a lot of people felt, and ako din, parang napansin ko siya ng konti. I feel like, in terms of body type, and I guess, socio-economic background siguro, mas diverse ating season 2. So a lot of people were also reacting na parang step back in season 3. How do you respond to that?
Actually, just to correct, mas diverse to in terms of socio-economic. And yung demographic niya because equally distributed yung ages nila this time.
And to be fair din naman, yung socio-economic background, mahirap rin naman kasi yung gamayin per person.
So yun.
But people are also saying like body type.
Pero body types, maybe, yeah. Kasi I think ito yung naging problem or I think ito yung naging consideration talaga namin this time when we were casting, matchmaking. May tendency kasi talaga na if you like choose the best from each archetype, diba? It would feel like it's a pageant rather than a dating show. Dun, yun yung, as in, I think, learnings din namin for the past few seasons is when you're dealing with dating shows and people who join dating shows, you always have to consider your the preferences.
Yeah.
And at the same time, yung possibility of matchmaking. Na-realize namin na yung sobrang different,
Baka hindi na mag-jive.
hindi mag-jive. Kumbaga, hindi tayo kumonek in like a more romantic sense. Baka magmarehan tayo, magbarkadahan tayo at gumawa tayo ng isang NGO. Charet. Ganun yung experience niya, di ba? Kinakalma din namin yung sarili namin with season 3 kasi parang sinabi natin, wag din naman natin, let's not be harsh on ourselves din. Kasi parang sabi namin, we cannot carry the whole LGBT representation on our backs alone. Pero ang sinasabi ko lang, I think, ang hope natin talaga ay mas marami pang Sparkscamp seasons ang dumating para lahat ng pwede nating maipakitang facets ng kabaklaan ay mapakita natin.
Well, I love that you talked about may purpose talaga. There is an intention to diversify even more. Pero may isa pa kasi nga dimension of the hanash of the taong bayan sa Sparks Camp is yung pagkakast of some people who, when people dug up their socials, may mga parang questionable beliefs, I guess. So, how would you respond to that? Kasi ako talaga, I think that was my main hanash as a viewer. I was rooting for this show. So, I was like, WTF?
We already knew yung aspects na yun ng part ng life nila when, of course, the audition, we found out about it. Kasi, of course, we do, diba, background checks, diba? It was a debate internally of how we will handle it. Na-realize ko lang din to, that it was important that we try to be true to the dating experience because we are a dating show. Hindi mo kayang salain kung sino lang yung may paniniwalang ganito at may paniniwalang ganito. At part na experience mo ng dating to find out ano ang pinaninindigan mo as a person. And that could clash. And the question is, could I handle that? Ang question kasi ng mga tao is it platforming people? And my answer to that is no. Because this is our show. The show is made up of progressive individuals who knew where they stand on issues. Kaya medyo, to be honest, nasasad ako dun sa mga, lalo na sa mga taong kilala ko, na kilala kami, yung makers ng show, who had some things to say about it in questioning the integrity of the show. This is us trusting where the show stands. We are setting editorial direction sa show. We wouldn't allow harmful ideologies and harmful ideas to prosper on the show. But just to clarify, Hindi na po sila ganon. Hindi
Well,
na sila.
Aaron did leave a comment sa last episode namin na he's growing, and I also understand where you're coming from in terms of they're not on the show to spew out whatever belief they have. They're not on there for that. I think what people were, I think a lot of people kasi would define platforming certain individuals as their mere presence lang. What do you say to that?
Ako, hindi. Kasi parang sa akin, ang platforming is to allow them and give them like a microphone and allow them to say whatever they want. But if you frame them, like ako, if you frame them in such a way that they are forced to 'di ba, reconcile with what they believe in and be faced dun sa mga iba't ibang klaseng tao na nakapaligid sa kanila, you cannot make a criticism if you're not putting contrasts.
Right.
'Di ba? And at the same time, parang sabi ko nga, kung magkakala sila, kunyatan ko kaya sila.
Well,
ganon.
alam mo, well, it would make for good TV. Pero kasi ako, I was really also really critical about it because a lot of the problems that we have of legitimizing certain beliefs is because the presence of people who believe a certain way. Pero may side din kasi sa akin that also was like, this is also a way for them to grow nga. Na parang don't want to rob people of the experience to learn more about it, especially because in this context, and the reason why it gets a pass for me is because in this context, the people controlling the narrative are more on the progressive side nga, I guess. I don't want to just discount their ability to grow and learn.
Ito yung pinag-uusapan din namin ni Mela na parang season 3 has been always about growth. Yun yung lagi namin na pag-uusapan Kasi we are in a bigger channel. We are trying to reach more audiences. And these yung pag-reach natin sa more audiences na to might be people who not necessarily align with our beliefs. Kasi niche tayo nasa community tayo. We are kumbaga we are for the longest time, for first 2 seasons, we've crafted that safe bubble where we could perfectly coexist with aligned values and aligned different personalities lang pero aligned lahat. Paano tayo lalaki kung lahat tayo pare-parehas na gano'n? Part ng paglaki mo, yung pagpapapasok ng mga tao at sabihin sa kanilang, ito yung tama. Anong gagawin mo?
Yeah. That's precisely what Pipoy and I talked about it. I was like, if there is an opportunity for that kind of change, bakit natin ipagdadamot din naman?
Parang naaalala ko lang din, ako, in a more personal, ibabacktrack ko lang din, na parang, there are like a lot of my, there are some of my friends who are even in my inner circle who, like, for example, supported the 2016 administration and had a change of heart because they saw, diba? They saw what happened. Why am I not offering the same grace to these people who are just trying to change? If I could offer that to my friend, diba? Parang ako, gusto ko lang siguro din i-temper natin yung, pinost ko to sa isang essay ko na pinost ko sa Facebook. Ang sinabi ko kasi na parang, we should also learn how to temper our angers and our emotions. Yung bumoto sa maling tao ay hindi ka parehas dun sa taong gumawa ng krimen. Magkaiba silang tao. May tangent sila, pero sana kaya nating i-compartmentalize how we act on each kasi kung parehas lang, we diminish the impact of what we are trying to do. Kung sa normal na tao, ganun mo rin siya i-act.
I think that was a learning for me, not just with the Sparks camp thing. I think that was a learning for me in the politics in the recent years was I feel like naiintindihan ko yung pinagagalingan natin pag nagagalit tayo sa mga ganong klaseng beliefs. And of course, nagagalit tayo sa mga taong sumusuporta sa mga ganong beliefs.
Yeah.
Nagagalit ako, mga away ako. But then I realized, I feel like I'm channeling my energy in the wrong way. I'm fighting with the wrong people. I'm fighting with the wrong entity. Why we keep losing, and not just in politics, but like in all other things, like as queer people, is sometimes masyado tayong gigil without actually taking a step back and breathing. And pwede na namang tama yung pinanggagalingan ng galit natin. Because tama naman yung pinanggagalingan ng galit natin. But I feel like there are ways to approach it that really doesn't add more challenges to us. Because I feel like, specifically, ibabalik ko sa Sparks Camp, as a queer person, it's the only queer dating show I'm watching. And then sasabihin ko dito, oh my God, I'm not gonna watch it. Kasi hindi ko gusto yung cast or blah, 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 blah. That's all I have. That's all we have currently. And I don't want to hurt that. So parang ano rin siya, balancing act.
Kaya masasabi ko yung season 3 was like a challenge and at the same time, I was really proud of this season kasi it put a lot of dimension into the community that we have. Na parang, kasi of course, when we were starting, we want to present the best foot forward. Na parang, okay, this is the best of what, kumbaga, as much as possible. Although, syempre, yung mga campers
Kasi
din naman,
gusto mo ng season 2.
Oo, gusto mo ng season 2. Pero ngayon, nasa punto na kasi kami na sobrang secure kami with the kind of show, what it stands for, and who is it for, that we allow now certain contradictions to happen because we know that we can be in control.
Yeah.
And hindi namin nahahayaan na matinag lang siya just because, 'di ba, may contradictions kang ipinasok. So, I think it's a matter of trust with the kind of show that we are doing, trust with the kind of people who are working on it, and trust on the people that they could actually discern what's right and wrong, and in a way, grow from it kung nagkamali man sila.
Well, I know na nasagot na natin yung main issue, pero may nag-comment kasi sa video namin from last time. At ang sabi niya, thank you for the conversation but still not watching this season due to lack of representation. Any response to that? Which to be totally fair, again, explain ko na kanina, I totally understand where they're coming from when they say that.
Ako kasi, lack of representation.
In your point of view, there's enough representation, you think?
Sa totoo lang ako, never siyang magiging enough. The space will never be enough to represent all of us. So only the hope is that certain facets of those people reflect on us. Kumbaga, I've always longed to see myself on screen, but kind of like a part of me also says that I cannot expect that to happen because I am my own unique individual. But I can relate to people just because I trust in the value of shared experiences in humanity. Ayokong iiba yung sarili ko sa mundo at sa komunidad na ito. And I want to be, kumbaga, I want to share whatever pains and whatever sorrows and whatever struggles other people go through.
I love that.
Not necessarily na parang mukha ko or figura ko yung nakikita ko sa screen. If we begin to see ourselves more than just archetypes, more than just figures that are kumbaga expected to be seen on screen, then I think we will find more spaces to love.
Nice. So Sparks Camp Season 3, what would you say, very quickly, is the thing that you're most proud of about it?
Nasabi namin to sa nung press con, this is the most mature season yet. It will have the most mature conversations. Things that you wouldn't even think about na madi-discuss not only on dating shows, but on Philippine television. Watch out for episode 3. Kasi pa siniskwela na po kami.
Wow! Oh my God!
Like, dun kami nila Mela, we were really surprised that, oh my God, hindi natin sukat akalain makakarating tayo dito Like,
You answered my question nga eh. Kasi my next question was, what can they look forward to? And more mature conversations.
more mature conversations na, alam mo yun, hindi natin madalas pinag-uusapan, pero pag-uusapan natin at reflected siya dun sa experiences ng campers.
I love it. Well, HYRO Aguinaldo, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your time. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love it. Insider info talaga, sabi ko sa inyo, very important tong episode na to kasi talagang tagaloob ang kakausapin natin. Was so much fun chatting with you.
And sobrang na-enjoy ko and gusto ko lang magpasalamat for actually making this kind of companion show with our show, di ba? Kasi sobrang open kami talaga with having these kinds of shows. Kasi
Of course.
kung hindi tayo nag-uusap-usap, di ba? We will remain to be in like our own bubbles. We have to like be bigger and get more allies.
Yeah, totoo yan. Kaya naman, well, where can people find you pala?
You can
You're a Twitter celebrity.
no. Okay, you can find me sa Twitter at HYRO, HEYROW, and Instagram at HYRO Aguinaldo. So, yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much, HYRO. That was a really, really fun chat. And kayo din, kung nag-enjoy kayo, please don't forget to like and subscribe dito sa Sis na Pop for more Sparkspective dahil talagang susubaybayan natin ang Sparks Camp. But also, anything pop culture, makikita niyo yun dito sa Sis na Pop. So please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell kasi marami pang mangyayaring kagagahan dito. My name is Momo, and I'll see you next time. Bye!